Well, hello there, friends. Thank you for joining me on the new Mailbag Sunday. I have 2 videos coming out every Sunday. Now, in the mornings, I have my usual upholstery tutorial, and in the afternoons is where you're going to see my Sunday mailbag. Make sure that you stick with me every Sunday, and you'll be learning a lot. Well, today we have something really special. We have 2 excellent questions from the same viewer, Mr. Majestic. Right on, you made 2 in 1 video. So anyway, he's got a couple great questions here. So his first question is that he is learning about the nuances of sewing. And then the second one is he is thinking about being the half price guy. So let's get into this. So here we go. So the first one is from Majestic 1120. Hey, how's it going, buddy? So what he says is, I have tendencies to make covers slightly too tight or loose, never perfect. So I started sewing and backing on the French stitched corners, especially if the material is black. I found over time that the thread can stretch or puncture holes stretched open, ever so slightly revealing the white of the foam in contrast to the darker material. Perhaps I need a different thread or fine-tune my used sewing machine, which I am sure needs adjusting. Always excellent how-to, sir. Thanks. What I wrote back to him was, hello, Majestic, you have discovered the nuances of experience. You find out what works and what doesn't work. File that away in your memory. I have often thought that I cannot make a video about something I can only feel, not show. Sometimes when you're doing something and you're only going by feeling something that is hard to explain, you just know it. Just remember, it keeps getting better and better. So let's get into this one. Well, sometimes that is exactly what happens. I'm over here trying to make videos, and sometimes whenever I'm sewing, I'm on cruise control when I don't have the video camera going, and everything I can kind of do almost subconsciously. I'm just working and I don't think too much about it. But when I make a video, guess what? I have to think about what I'm doing. And sometimes I find that it's kind of like hard to do a translation into a different language. So you know that you know the word that you're trying to express, but you can't express it in a different language. That's kind of what I'm talking about. It's the nuance. It's the feeling that you have inside when you're doing something. And oftentimes, when I've been in those situations, I'll ask myself, I'll say, well, if I had to explain this to somebody, how would I do that? Because it's something that's almost unexplainable, because it's like a part of the technique. The way you move and the way you think and the way you advance your sewing machine or stop, or the way you pull a material, these are things that your body is doing. This is not something that you're explaining, okay, well, get your left hand like this and you get your right hand like this, and then you do this with your left hand and with your right hand. That would be goofy, wouldn't it? That is really about being part of the experience. So when you get pretty good at something, you don't have to think too much about it. You're just kind of doing it. You'll kind of know when it's time, and you'll kind of know when it's happening to you, and you'll kind of know when you're getting pretty good, because you're just doing it. You're not thinking too much about it. And that's the other thing. That's the thing that's bringing the newbies down, is they're thinking too much into what it is, making it rocket science, right? Okay, so what you do is you just kind of work through it. Don't think too much about it. You just do it. That's why I always say that repetition is mastery. Because you do something over and over and over again, pretty soon you're doing it. Okay, you're driving a car. Well, maybe some of you young people don't know how to drive a stick shift. But us older guys, when you're driving a stick shift, okay, you're shifting with your right hand, and you're pressing the clutch down with your left foot, and you're alternating the two to shift the gears. Okay, you're not thinking about that, right? You're not saying, okay, I'm moving my right hand, I'm going to press down on my left foot, okay, to press down the clutch, to change this gear. Okay, you're not doing that when you're driving, right? Okay, it's the same thing. It just becomes second nature. That's why I'm saying it just gets better and better and better. And that's why the first cushion is always tough. And say that you're doing like 5 dinette cushions and they're all the same. 6, okay, let's say 6. Because nobody has 5 except for if you have that one person that has 5. So okay, let's say you have 6 dining chairs. They're all the same. Okay, the first one you gotta kind of figure it out. Okay, second one, okay, you just had experience with the first one, so the second one gets a little bit better and probably even looks a little bit better. Then the third one is even better than the second one, and so on and so forth. By the time you're done with the sixth one is the best out of all of them. Wow. Just don't tell your customer that. They'll never notice. So I know it happens to me too. Sometimes it's intimidating. You get started on the job, but after the first 5 minutes, you start relaxing. And after the first 15 minutes, you start getting into the groove. Okay, so then that's what I mean by it just gets better and better and better and better. How many times I gotta say it? And better. So he's talking about saying a cover might fit too tight. Okay, so then that maybe on the next one you make the pattern just a little bit larger. And it looks like he might have done that, because what he says here is that maybe it was actually fitting a little bit too loose after it was fitting too tight. So then you kind of find the sweet spot, I suppose. And then now your covers after that adjustment should be fitting really nice, right? Not too loose, not too tight. But the rule of thumb is that you should just duplicate the original patterns and you get a perfect fit every time. If you find value in my upholstery tutorials, now is an easier way to contribute to my YouTube channel. Buy a coffee by scanning this QR code now. Thank you. So tune in every Sunday afternoon for our Mailbag segment, where we answer viewers' questions and comments. See you then. So let's move on to the next one. Comes from the video, you can make $5,000 in 10 hours, all in 95 minutes. So it comes from Majestic 1120 once again, where he says, I want to do convertible tops, but I never have. I'm afraid I'll make a costly mistake and wind up in court. I've offered to do installation for customer at half the cost of others, letting them know my experience. Like no one wants to give me a chance, LOL. Figured I'd start with my 65 Mustang and see how it goes. So I gave him a thumbs up and a hearts. And my reply was, hello Majestic, starting on your own car is the absolute best way to build your confidence and learn the craft without the pressure. But really, there is no costly mistake if you take the time and study my convertible top videos. Never offer your services for half price. There is no better way to ruin your reputation. You never want to be known as the cheap guy. That never builds confidence in a customer. Please promise me that you'll never do that. So let's get into this one. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter if you're charging half price or full price when you're doing a job. Because when you're doing a job, let's take a convertible as an example. Okay, you're getting through that job from beginning to end, regardless if it takes you 8 hours, 10 hours, or 12 hours, or 15 hours. Okay, you're going to get through that. Okay, so if it takes 15 hours and 16 hours on an 8-hour job, okay, and you charge somebody half price, okay, that doesn't make any sense at all, because you're still going to get from point A to point Z, regardless of the time that you spend on it. The customer is still going to see the same end result. So why would you charge half price when the customer sees the end result and you might as well have gotten the full price. And even if you did make a mistake, it's on your time. So, the customer never knows that you made that mistake. Because what you do is you take your time and you fix that mistake. So you might have to take something apart and then put it back together again, this time the right way. And don't let it freak you out. It happens to everybody. Something doesn't go exactly right, all you got to do is just fix your own mistake. You probably heard me say, how good you are when you can fix your own mistakes. Especially if you're working by yourself. You don't have anybody over here on your left or on your right that you can say, hey, can you fix this for me? I messed up. I need somebody to help me. You don't do that, right? You just fix it. It appears that he's already offered somebody that he would do something for half price for the experience. And it's no wonder why nobody wants to give him a chance. Would you? I mean, let's say you have a really nice car. Okay, you just put a brand new paint job on it or something. It's a really nice car interior. It's a classic. And somebody says, hey, I could do your convertible top for you, but, I'm going to learn as I go. We're going to learn together. Does that inspire any confidence? So Majestic, what you do instead, when you're meeting face to face with this customer, what you're doing is you're showing him your portfolio of other jobs that you've done in the past. Okay, this is what's going to help build confidence. And I wouldn't tell anybody. They don't even have to know. Even if it's your first convertible top job. They don't have to know it's your first convertible top job. You don't have to give up that information. All you do is just accept the job and get through it. Okay, let's say you screwed up royally. Okay, you completely ruined the top. Okay, so let's say it's a $400 top or something. So what you could do, the worst case scenario is what? Okay, you lost $400 on the job. Okay, but you still made $1,800, right? So next time you have that opportunity to take on a job, you just accept it. Okay, you just do it. Tell the customer that you'll give them a call when it's done, or you'll give them a call the day before it's going to be done, so that way they can make plans to come pick it up. And that's it. Get the job, get paid. Move on to the next one. Hey, if you're stuck on a project or just want some one-on-one help, let's jump on a private consultation video call. We can look at what you're working on together, and we'll get it all sorted out and answer all of your questions. Just head over to my Buy Me a Coffee page with your contribution to lock in a time, and we'll talk. The link's down below. Well, I hope that you're taking my advice and charging way more than what you think something should cost. Okay, this way, that's what's covering you. If you do make a mistake, you're covered, right? If you charge half price and make a mistake, now where are you going to be? That's why, I guess maybe that's why you're worried about winding up in court, because you charged way too little, and then you had a mistake and you didn't protect yourself. So if you charged way more than what you thought something should cost, okay, that's why I never even charge for material cost. I always tell people that I make my money on the labor, not the materials, because I charge so much that the material cost is just like a rounding error. So I hope you take the time and watch my business side videos that I have on my YouTube channel. I have several of these business side videos giving the advice that'll help protect yourself and help cover yourself, and extra strategies for making a lot more income than what you thought you could. So promise me that you're never ever going to be known as the cheap guy. These questions are really good questions, and these are questions that you should also be thinking about. If you're thinking about it, put it down in the comments, and we'll keep that conversation going, right? Be sure to get it all in your comments, and who knows, maybe your comment will be featured. I hope you're enjoying our new Sunday afternoon mailbag segment. So until next time. If you like this video, you'll really like the next one.